Howdy, it's Dashie. It's been a while since I last made a video like this, which is quite strange considering they're my favourite to make, provided I can actually be bothered. Truth is, I've been wasting my life on shitty free video games, and I've also been working on possibly the worst animation ever for a future video about weeaboos. Yeah, that's literally all I got. That's probably gonna take 2 or more years to make at this rate. Please don't look forced to it, it's probably gonna be shit. It's gonna be such a shit video. I'll also be making a few other shorter videos here and there, so my channel doesn't just disappear off the face of the earth. You might have seen that in December with my lovely 1000 degree knife video, and bitching about plants, and also playing some shit game that no one even likes. And I'll try to get one of these sorts of videos out once a month, but seeing as I missed last month's, that's probably not gonna happen. So if you've got any ideas on some video genre you want me to make a video about, please tell me in the comments, it really helps. Anyway, just in case you somehow clicked on this video without reading the title, this video is going to be about children's channels, because that's totally an original topic. Now before we start, I have no issue with children's channels, provided they're done correctly, because they can be quite educational for a 4-year-old or younger, but quite a few of them probably aren't the best to be witnessed by children, or even adults, because some of them can be quite disturbing. Well, disturbing for a kid at least, and maybe a few adults. I'll also be talking about a few tamer ones, but more as a general thing because they're not usually very different. So let's get on with it, shall we? Most videos that are made for kids are tame and perfect for children. Parents can put them on to distract their kid in a long car journey, for example. However, a lot of these channels often make a few videos that are completely fucking bizarre. And some even make videos that probably aren't the best for kids to witness. Run for the Cube is a good example of this, where he dissects a jelly baby pet rat thing with some kind of most likely faked voice.
Smell my fine gear! Smell my fine gear!
I'd say most likely because I can't be certain, however I'm pretty sure that it is fake, especially since you can pay the guy to say random shit like pyrocynical.
Pyro kynical! Pyro kynical!
Of course, the strange voice isn't an issue. In fact, kids will love that shit. What kind of small child doesn't enjoy someone talking in a strange accent? However, his videos are kind of a problem. He starts them off looking all sweet and innocent, then all of a sudden surgical gloves appear and a fucking scalpel. He then proceeds to gouge the gummy eyes out of everything in his way. It's quite terrifying, and if any kids watch it, they'll probably either be traumatised or incredibly effective at killing small creatures. I'm not sure which would be worse. He does this sort of thing with a lot of other gummy creatures, using a scalpel to dissect them. Even going as far as to switching the bodies of gummy slugs and carving them a Glasgow smile.
Let's put a smiley on that, Becky. Why so serious? Why so serious?
Enough of him. Do you guys remember a few years back when you used to get angry parents commenting all the time about how a channel's a bad influence on kids? Well, somehow parents these days think Spider-Man spraying particles of shit and methane gas at random people is a very good influence. Of course, back then a lot of those parents were trolls, but I just find the situation kinda funny. I mean, do we really want to be teaching kids that it's okay to run up to random people and fart in their faces? Like, imagine how you'd feel if someone started vibrating their anus in front of your very eyes. It's disgusting. Why do children's channels keep doing that? It's so odd. I get that it may be entertaining to children, but you don't see the fucking Teletubbies bending over every few seconds to breathe out of their anal cavity. And it's not like it's just 1 or 2 channels that do it either, in fact quite a few do, including the infamous Toys in Japan that makes those half-assed template animations, one of which consists of Hitler fighting PewDiePie, as well as Awesome Life, who's been teaching kids to set a light to their own farts, which is, as we all know, very safe. Of course, there's still a lot of other channels to mention, but I think that ones that teach kids how to turn a gas into a flamethrower really puts the icing on the cake. Another bizarre thing that some children's channels do is have adults dressing and acting like babies. To be fair, it's pretty harmless, and younger children will most likely enjoy this sort of content. But seeing a grown man running around with a pacifier in his mouth whilst making strange noises is, well, it's certainly something, isn't it? The aptly named Toy Freaks or Freak World is notorious for this type of content, doing some strange video series where him and his children who are about 6 to 8 years old act like babies. You know you're in a real fucking treat when the profile picture is a middle-aged man sucking on a fucking pacifier. These types of videos are occasionally the kind of way you shouldn't watch whilst eating, so if you have a weak stomach and you're currently consuming things, it would probably be best to look away for a moment. For some reason, a lot of their videos involve spitting out food or having gross things poured all over their heads. Now, a lot of kids love gross things, so I'm not faulting that at all. It's just kind of disgusting really, and could probably teach kids that it's okay to play with their food rather than actually eat it. The thing is, I wouldn't have a single problem with this channel as much as it is bizarre, because it's completely harmless and entertaining for children and even has some educational aspects. However, my issue with this channel is that, like a few others that feature children, the children have sort of become a brand and don't have much of a life outside of YouTube. Fair enough, they aren't exactly uploading every single day, but to me, it's a little morally wrong to be filming vlogs with them at Walmart. Again, it's not every day, so it's not that bad, but it just feels kind of wrong to me. They do need some time to be kids. Just like noxious gases emanating from the rectal region of the body, kids' channels are also somewhat obsessed with needles and syringes. Now that probably wouldn't be so bad as it could teach children not to be scared of injections, but the only thing most of them do is possibly make the child even more afraid of getting vaccinated, because typically whenever an injection happens in these videos, the person often screams in pain and horror and is suddenly crippled. Again, it's entertaining for a younger audience. Exaggerated expressions are perfect for them, but it's probably just going to make them fear injections more. Young children often believe very strange things that they see. If they see someone get an injection and then they suddenly transform or become permanently crippled, they're going to believe that's actually what happens. To be fair, a few adults believe that injections can somehow cause autism, but let's not get into that. Another thing that branches off of those syringe videos is that a lot of channels use the syringes on plastic babies. For some reason, a majority of the channels that I've seen doing this use real fucking medical syringes. If you think that's bad enough, there's one channel in particular that, well, if you've seen H3H3's video, you know they're quite an oddity. Especially since he prints out a target, then sticks it onto the baby doll's arse, then tosses syringes at it. Going back to my earlier point about how children are impressionable and believe anything they see, yeah, you just horrified many children who are already scared of injections and made them believe that doctors fucking throw syringes at you like they're fucking darts on a dartboard. The other videos featuring real syringes on plastic babies aren't so bad, but this channel is quite creepy and gives off unwanted sexual vibes. It's probably because of the fact that he undresses the plastic baby very slowly, with no background music at all, so you can just hear the crunching of the velcro on the clothing tearing apart. Another time he made a video where Peppa Pig gives a baby what he says is swine flu. Which it clearly isn't. Swine flu doesn't cause you to get chickenpox the size of bloody golf balls. And of course he decides to vaccinate the baby after it's a little too late. The baby's gonna die, cunt. That shit ain't gonna do anything. Especially since you'd misdiagnosed it. What a fucking shit doctor you are. The next thing I want to talk about are those Kinder Surprise Egg channels and toy review channels. Now the concept of them isn't so bad, but people often complain about their annoying voices. However, most kids love annoying, exaggerated voices just like a lot of dogs do. So I'm not faulting that at all, as much as the voices causes my ears to bleed. Also, these channels are probably the most innocent. No Hitlers, no injecting babies with random fluids, and no farting in people's faces. It's fairly innocent really, and gives parents a good idea on what types of toys to buy for their children. However, the main problem with these channels is that the kids that star in them, well, they're going to grow up to be spoiled little brats who whine whenever they don't get what they want, because they'll be conditioned to get everything that they want. And once they're older, when their parents start to say no, they'll start acting like a whiny little bitch. So that's not really good for the children in the long run. Another issue with these channels is that a few of them refer to everything as a Kinder Surprise egg. For starters, most of the time it isn't even a part of the Kinder brand, but is something the parents have made instead. You're not supposed to name it after a brand unless it's actually part of the brand. And then the other half of the time, it's not an egg, it's round. It's a ball. It's not a fucking egg. It's quite a lame thing to be nitpicking about really, but for some reason that irks me. The last thing I want to talk about is a channel called Hey Kids. Unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, the original channel got suspended because of its inappropriate use of Adolf Hitler and various other reasons, so most of their videos are gone forever. Hey Kids was a troll account which for some reason some people thought was run by a rogue AI that took over the mind of some random person. Of course, a lot of those people were taking a piss, but this is a human race, there's bound to be someone who thought the whole fiasco was real. The account's mascot was some strange cracked doll thing with the talker's eyes and lips layered over its face. It looked kinda freaky and kids would probably get a little scared by it. Now unfortunately parents don't usually watch the video first, they just stick it on and assume it's a friendly kids channel. So if the parents found these and showed it to their kids, it probably wouldn't have been too good. Especially the one that features Hitler talking about AI human hybrids and shit like that. It's quite odd really. If you want to know more about the channel, there's plenty of videos that came out before it was suspended. Anyway, I believe that's all that I want to talk about. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you shared it with your friends, it will help out a lot. Thanks for watching.